I like the short one. The other one's too small.
Would you like to put it on our agenda to discuss it?
Gentlemen, this is Ted Drum from Lauderdale. Lauderdale Marine on 15th Street. Ted, I got one more. My mother is Bob Cox's executive secretary.
That's not happening.
My son.
Who's responsible for the call?
Her name is Gene Coleman at the time.
How do you get yourself in the meeting? How do you get your own picture? I don't know. No. Just there's you're not the water. Oh, you keep grabbing it. You just
So, hey guys, welcome to the Marine Advisory Board meeting for Thursday, April 2nd. It's been a crazy few days for a lot of us. A quick update on a couple things before I jump in. First of all, can we have a roll call if you'd be kind enough?
give you one thing.
Mr. Day? Mr. Morley?
Here.
Mr. Robotsky?
Present.
Mr. Bakoff?
Here.
Mrs. Ware? Here. Mr. Dunbar? Mr. Frank?
Here.
Mr. Mitchell?
Here.
Mr. Brunel?
Here.
Mr. Colburn?
Present.
Mr. Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Swindell?
Present.
Mr. Flanagan?
Here.
Mrs. Fernandez?
Present.
Chair Whitten?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. So we're going to move quickly through some housekeeping items, guys. A couple quick things. Ted Morley ripped his bicep. So we're not going to.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're not going to trust him on any votes tonight. But, so both, and then Barry Flanagan is in the hospital. Barry had a heart issue. It's okay. He's had blood tests, etc. Apparently there's some enzyme issues, so he couldn't get home tonight. He expects to be tomorrow. So both Barry and Ted is going to come in via Zoom, we believe, and Barry couldn't get in via Zoom, so he's going to come in. He's listening via the phone. So I need permission. So I need a motion to allow them to join us via Zoom or phone.
So
Do I
moved.
have that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Who was the first?
It's out of order, though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, so welcome Barry and welcome Ted Morley. Couple other things. We have a new board member, Catherine Fernandez. Catherine, just wait 1 second. I'm going to have yourself introduced in a second, but I want to acknowledge you. For those who might be here for item number 6, which is 401 Idlewild Drive, the applicant has withdrawn that application, and hopefully it will come to visit in the future, and we will move on with that. I do have a couple comments I'm going to mention later, but that's me. So, Catherine, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself and tell us a little about you, and then we're going to charge into the meeting.
Hi, everybody. Like they say, my name is Catherine Fernandez. I just so honored to be here. I know that I'm gonna learn a lot. I've been watching the last bus meeting and it's very interesting. And yeah, I'm here to learn and serve the city with whatever I can.
What do you do right now, Catherine?
I do accounting and tax preparation right now.
Thank you for
What's
joining
your nautical
us.
background?
My what?
What's your nautical marine background?
Well,
Why here?
just like I would be in the water. Like I like the water, and I'm from Miami. I moved here. I bought my house in 2024, and I've been watching the condition of the water in Florida, and it's very I'm very worried about. I'm concerned, especially some area that you guys will mention in the last meeting, which is the Sixth Strand area, the New River after 95. I think we gotta pay attention. So
Okay. So you're not a boater or a captain or any of that. You're a consumer.
I just got my water license, so I can just go and enjoy the water. But
Well, you dress very nautically, so you're not just.
He's got the brass buttons.
Yeah, brass buttons, logo, looks great.
You might need a deckhand this weekend, are you gonna make it around? You need a deckhand this weekend, are you gonna?
So we don't normally cross-examine people like this, so thank you, doctor.
You did me.
Oh, so what is your background? You're a podiatrist?
I've been a captain for 30 plus
Okay,
years.
okay. All right, so thank you for joining us. Thank you, doctor, as always. So I mentioned that's pulled off, with new board member. We're gonna start, we're gonna do some things out of order. We're gonna take item number 8, which is
Can we review
behind.
minutes?
Huh?
Can we review the minutes this morning and approve them?
Could I have a motion? Has anybody reviewed the minutes of last month? Yes, doctor.
Yeah. I only have one question. We talked about, when Mr. Glassman was here, about bringing issues to the city commission, and we talked about maybe having that as an agenda item where we would then think about things that we would put on the agenda to bring on there, and it wasn't on this agenda, and I was gonna ask that going forward, if we can make a line item for maybe topics that we would bring to the city commission. That would be a line item.
So the process is via communication to the commission. So there isn't a line item required to make a communication to the commission.
Right, but we would not forget that we should be doing it if it was always a line item. The same way we could forget reviewing our minutes if it wasn't a line item. If we want to get something done, it's easier to make sure we always have a place to put it.
I got it.
Procedural issue is what you're
Right.
talking about.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay, I'll talk about it with the chair and we'll figure something out.
It's a great idea, thank you. And one of the things, guys, so I time out in June, Barry Flanagan times out today, this month. One of the things, and Bob Dunkel, as you know, is retiring. We're not supposed to use that word. By the way, cover your ears, Mr. Dunkel. There's a card over there I'd ask you all to sign, please, and let him know how much you think of him. Crotchy little. I lost my train of thought with that, so I don't know what I was saying. But anyways, it's so, so one of the things I talked about with the city commission and commissioners is I'd like to do a summary. So I've been doing this for 6 years. I'd like to do a summary of good, bad, and different, and ask the city commission to entertain an agenda item, and we would summarize kind of some of this stuff, et cetera. I'd like to see if I can do that. I'm pretty sure I can. And I would ask you all for comments, et cetera, to share. So thank you, doctor, for that. Before we move on.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second was from who? Do we have a second on that?
Second.
First.
Doc? And second was
Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell. All in favor of approving the minutes as is?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you very much. Mr. Dunkel?
With regard to these memos to the commission, work closely with Andrew. You want to make it as close to one single subject as possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. While we're standing here next to Bob, a gentleman next to him, Scott Stone, would you be kind enough, Bob, to do the honors and introduce him?
You want to stand?
Sure.
Before we begin,
yeah,
I don't have any nautical experience. I'm wearing blue. In fact, I grew up on the Las Olas Isles, and I was terrified every time my parents took me out on a boat. But I'm back now, and I'm excited to learn about marine industries and whatnot.
I will say that you are inheriting somebody who is a very quick study. We've had a couple of conversations. We've got a number of other conversations that go forward on things that I would have liked to have implemented had I been able to be around for another 10, 20 years. Quick study, great attorney, background predominantly in land use, and of course, when we get into waivers of limitation and some of those other things, he'll be intimately involved in that. So I'm real glad to have someone like him following in my pathway.
It's an honor to follow you, Bob.
Big shoes to fill.
What's that?
Big shoes to fill.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Scott,
Fashionable, too.
I'm sorry, Scott.
No, actually, they're wide, but they're not very long.
Yeah, I'm sorry, your name again?
Scott Stone.
Stone, oh, yeah, yes.
Just put it down before you go.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we're trying to do too many things at once, guys.
yeah, put it in front of the cop.
So, there's a little cocktail going around. Please do not drink that yet.
Put the whole tray right down there.
I'm under it here.
Our new member, Catherine Fernandez, just sucked that down. It's like, okay, who said she's not a boater, by the way?
Don't worry, Travis, I got you.
Okay.
You got mine, you got mine.
So before we move on, and first of all, I mentioned that we're going to take some things out of order. We have the gentleman to my right, guys, is Ted Drum. Ted Drum is the owner of Fort Lauderdale 50th Street Fisheries, the Lauderdale Marina, Boston Wayward dealership, etc. This man is truly a cornerstone of this community. We're going to get to him in a few minutes. We're going to take him out of order and bring him up early. Age does have its merits, I guess, but we are honored to have Ted, and I promise you, you've never seen slides like you're going to see in a second. But before we do that, because Bob has to head off, obviously, it's getting kind of late for him.
We're gonna I'm here for the meeting. I'm teasing you.
So first of all, we're going to take a moment to mention a couple words about Bob. If you'd be kind enough, Bob, we have a little retirement badge for you.
Lord.
Does that say quitter?
Don't break it.
Don't break it. Where is the
Where are we going?
together? Okay. So, as you can see, we are proud of our quitter. But we're not done yet, because
It's kind of hard for you to top that costume that you gave me at Christmas with all the
so that's the
and
one over
everything.
there. So you got to bear with me with this. You know, nothing becomes more important than the people we're surrounded with, etc. The fact that we don't have idle while we have a little more time today. So I'm going to share a couple thoughts I had. I actually put this together a couple months ago when Bob threatened to retire before, so I've added to it. So we've had some challenging waivers. Bob's put up with plenty of my craziness, but he's become a partner to all of us on the MAB. And I say a partner. Many of us know that Bob didn't usually show up to meetings. He was always in the background, etc. There is not one waiver permit, anything we did over the last handful of years that Bob wasn't involved in. And Scott, I say that with due respect, you have big shoes to fill. You don't need to necessarily know what he knows about the waterfront. You didn't have to swim with dolphins, but this man is just a rock to us, and it's safe to say we're going to miss him. So I'm going to share a little background if I can. First of all, that's Barry Flanagan. We're also celebrating Barry Flanagan's timeout. Barry has been on the board probably 3 terms of 18 years or so before there were term limits. He is now retired, stepping down from 6 years. I mentioned Barry's in the hospital. Barry, if you're listening, we love you. We got a picture of you with a silly hat, and we want to acknowledge you, and hopefully we'll get you to come back and visit. So that's to Barry.
Hey.
So I'm going to go into. Oh, Barry, you're there. Thank
you.
So,
Hey,
hey,
Mr. Chairman, you
Yes,
think
sir.
you're going to get rid of me that easy?
oh, Andre, can you turn that volume off, please? No. So.
Bob's baby fingers.
So so I'm going to share some background. Bob was an adorable baby. He was born to a very pious woman, as you could see. He took to the water like a fish from a very young age, and I swear he didn't swim with dolphins. As a kid, he competed in swim meets and actually became a competitive swimmer. He posted, actually I've checked, and he posted one of the best times for the 4x100 relay in 1972, and you could see all the medals he garnered. So along the way, though, he realized that he was also a terrific student as well as a hit with the ladies. If I can get this damn thing to work. Well, that's the big. So you can obviously see why he was a hit with the ladies back then. And his high school project was in mind control, and it demonstrated that he was destined for greatness. But ladies like big, strong guys. And Bob tried alligator wrestling. He didn't find alligator wrestling challenging enough, so he thought, I'll be a lawyer. I gotta do better with this. I'll be a lawyer. So ultimately, he became a partner in the world-famous firm, prestigious firm Dewey, Cheatham and Howe, that you're probably familiar with. And then he met his lovely wife, Marcia, and in addition to a successful career in law, he's a hell of a dad and granddad.
Let me point out, you wanna go to that last picture? You notice how I'm looking up?
Yep.
When I married my wife, she was 5'12",
5'12".
and I was 5'6".
Is that right?
6 feet.
Some call it 6 feet. Is that
Yeah.
the same?
Well, at 5'12", which would make people like you go, huh?
So Bob obviously still looks like a stud. We will miss him, and with due respect, there ain't nobody gonna fill those shoes. So we love you. If I can get to the
Oh,
next
there's the
slide.
abs.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I'm having nothing. So there's Bob, obviously still looking like a stud. When I say he listens to everybody, that ear is always open. You may not like what you hear, but it's always open. And again, we wish Bob the best. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. We love you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Ted Morley, who, by the fact that his last name was Morley, was supposed to do a special Irish toast. Ted, I don't know if you could do it, so I'm going to jump in as gracious as I can. Guys, there's a big cake over there. We're going to celebrate and share, etc. So, Bob, may the winds of fortune sail you. May you sail a gentle sea. May it always be the other guy who says, the drink's on me.
Yeah, wow. That's not what I was expecting.
That's the first alcohol.
Well, okay. So, everybody ready to go home? All right.
Motion.
We're not finished with Bob yet. We have a couple things before we send him off. Number one, the dumpster fire will not be the same without you. Number two, what do you do in retirement? I don't know. You get up in the day and you go, what am I going to do today? Read a book. Putter around. Retirement die.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach. It's on there. Retired. 2026. We're not done. One of my favorite books is called Disappointing Affirmations. An example is, no one is coming to save you. You are the adult. I'm sorry. You're doing the best that you can, which is pretty sad. So, some wonderful affirmations from you. One of my very favorite books for folks that are turning old, if you haven't seen it, is You're Only Old Once, and that's why Dr. Seuss is there. It's a wonderful read, and it reminds us why and what's important to us in life. And you'll find yourself wishing that you were out there in Fada Fazi and not here in this chair in Golden Years Clinic on Century Square for spleen readjustment and muffler repair. Just why are you here? You're not feeling the best. Well, we're going to hope you're going to stay well, and we're going to send you up with this. And we have one last thing. So, as you notice, that is not fruit juice in those little shot glasses. So the powers that be, there's a tiny little bit. So Bob mentioned to me his love for Crown Royal. That one of his joys is to go home, he's got family, he takes a little nip, he sits and reads, etc. He said to me that one of the problems is with retirement, it's too easy to start drinking early. So his wife, Marcia, said to him, as part of retirement, you are only limited to one bottle of Crown Royal a month. What did his friends do? Ta-da! You're set. So we made him cry. There actually is another book here as well called 100 Fun Ways to Enjoy Retirement with a King. And the only reason I got that, who's on the cover? That is Bob Dunkel. Oh. So enjoy retirement. There's a personal card for me, and there's a card back there with everybody's name on it. So thank you.
Thank you. And I have enjoyed the last couple of years working with this board. It has become a labor of love. I truly love what I do here and work with you people. And it's been amazing to be able to work with Steve and Andrew and Lewis and Jonathan Luscombe before him.
Yep.
What a great team, and you are inheriting some great staff people to work with. Thank you all.
Okay, so, that was wonderful. Barry, sorry you missed it in person. A lot of fun. We do have some business to talk about. We have one dock permit we'll get to quickly, but I mentioned bringing up Ted Drum. And if I can get to that file, I will do so right now. I have some good and welfare to share. Do you have a few minutes? Do you have a few minutes if I share some good and welfare, or you want to get out of here?
Whatever you're on the show, but you know, do it.
Give me 5 minutes before we get to you, because you're going to enjoy some. Okay.
Y'all always host with a real crown roll to begin with.
Steve,
So, I don't
Steve,
think
I'm
Barry,
listening. I
Barry,
heard
can
Bob.
you hear us? So what you can't see, Barry, is I'm standing here, excuse me, with Jeff Monterelli. Jeff is
He
John.
knows me. He
Well, I
knows
know
me.
you know him, but I'm telling everybody else that Jeff has recently joined John Herbst as his executive assistant.
Chief of Staff.
As chief of staff. Just a kick-ass guy. I heard him speak, and it's a pleasure to have him join. So Barry Flanagan is in John Herbst's district. John Herbst was to come by today and present this award to Barry. John is involved in an FBI program, which is just too cool. I wish I was doing the same thing. So he sent Jeff. So Barry, we have, and I'll let you make the acknowledgement on behalf of John Herbst in District 1.
So, Mr. Flanagan, on behalf of District 1 Vice Mayor, Commission Office, with sincere thanks for your service on the Marine Advisory Board and your dedication to protecting and enhancing our waterways. April 2nd, 2026. And I just want to say, about 20 years ago, I was here attending the board meetings as staff, and this is a great board. It's very important. The work you do is very important. Thank you all on behalf of District 1, and that's all we have to say. Thank you, Mr. Flanagan.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Barry.
Steve, can I have a word? Steve,
Yes.
can I have a word with you?
Of course, please do.
I would like to recognize those who found faith in me to be a member of this board, starting with Mayor Bob Cox and the mayors that followed him, Mayor Naugel, Mayor Seiler, Trantillis, and now Commissioner Rodstrom.
And so Barry,
Met a lot of friends along the way, and I hope they're lasting friends, such as Andrew, who has forever been helpful to the board and me. Bob Dunkel, our friendship goes back many years. Our good sergeant, who looks over the waterways for us. And our chair, Steve, and many chairs past. Ted, I thank you for coming tonight. It means a lot for your presence here. I look forward to talking to you later.
Barry, thank you very much. So, by the way, so Barry and Courtney were the driving forces behind the new agenda item, behind the scenes of our boating community. Barry has a long-standing friendship with Ted Drum and family, etc. Barry's the one who suggested Ted join us, and again, we'll get to Ted in a moment. And it's tough to lose senior guys, Barry, so thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you soon. I totally lost my train of thought. I want to get to real quickly a couple things, guys. I'm going to call it good and welfare. A couple things that have happened I want to update you on that are perhaps works in motion. I'm going to pass these around. I've done this. I did this the last meeting, and I'm going to do it every meeting because this is about. This is supposedly who we are and what we're all about. I'm going to ask, and I post this so you see, so basically what our charges are and our responsibilities. I'm going to suggest that this is a little dated. It's nice to see, but if you read this, we're basically responsible for everything from a wet face on a seawall out and has to do with the waterway. But some of this is dated with respect to some of the language, etc. I think the thoughts are there. But as Bob is talking to Scott, I'm going to suggest that we work with Scott and we start to modify some of these so they become more relevant. It's a little old, but it gives you an idea that there's not too much that happens on the waterfront that does not include us. Can we do that, Chris? I don't know where that is. Who's over there? Andre? Can we pull up the video if you can? So guys, I met with Chris Stacy. You see the signs around on the Tortuga Fest.
Hey guys, Chris Stacy here with Rock the Ocean Foundation and the Tortuga Music Festival. Sorry I couldn't make the meeting tonight, but just wanted to say thank you to Steve Whitten and all the folks at the Marine Advisory Board for all of the support over the years for the Tortuga Music Festival and the Rock the Ocean Foundation. We're out there on the beach building this week, that's why I couldn't attend, but hope to see everybody at Tortuga. Rock the Ocean.
So thank you. Can I just go move around with this now? So
the bracelets.
Chris is a good friend of the board. They are, as I shared last meeting, they have raised over $6 million for ocean conservation as a direct result of ticket sales, and there's a huge peripheral trickle-down benefit. Chad was meeting with them. I know Sergeant O'Neill has. It's a big, big deal. Whether you go or not, it's one of the most fun events on the water. So Chris is a good friend, and we thank him for trying as well. Let me move through some of these slides. I don't even know what order these are in. That's our whiteboard, guys. I put it up, it's a reminder what we're working on, our focus, as I shared with Mr. Drum over here. And I'll pass these flyers out. What you see in yellow is really what we keep coming back to every time, is make boating and access to the waterfront available to everybody. Okay, it's something when you go to visit the Drum family, you see over there. The whole family's involved. They take this seriously. We want to make sure our legacy on the waterfront stays, so it's a critical part of that. This was a slow speed zone. I mentioned this is the signs that went up recently. I explained what a slow speed minimum wake is. Basically, the easiest way to remember it is if the nose of your boat is up, you're going too fast. That's the slow speed minimum wake signs again that have gone up, a reminder. It's amazing those signs are up, and I swear to God, people simply don't see them. Because when Sergeant O'Neill's guys are off, they come by at 65 miles an hour again. That's Tortuga Fest coming up shortly. Some great headliners. Spoke to Chad. It's fascinating how many folks go to this event as a family. It's a very special event, so hope you can join. Fort Lauderdale air show's coming up in May. Safe to say the same thing. There's nothing like that anywhere. So when we talk about family, so I've talked about children and family, why we're all here. So my little grandson who you've seen here and my son who takes pictures, they had a little baby. That baby's 4 days old now. And the reason, that's Steve Golan, by the way, who's actually a boater on the water. But the reason I bring this up again is every single thing we do is about that little kid there. It's about making sure we're leaving a positive legacy and trying to do the best we can so our families can enjoy the waterfront. To leave them with filthy water and just a chaotic scene is not right. So I thank everybody for your efforts because, again, we're all unpaid volunteers. Steve Golan had some, he happens to be wearing a hat, but again, the main thing, here's a guy that is the chief of the fire department, but he's also a boater. So when we talk to city commissioners, some don't know the water. So due respect to you, Catherine, when the doctor asked if you have experience on the water, having experience and looking at it from 30,000 feet are different. So we understand both sides of it. So we'll get you out on the water. But it's nice to have some of our city leaders actually doing that. We do have one more here.
Hey guys, Chris Stacy here.
Okay, so you had a couple other things I went through. I had a conversation with Tricia Logan from the city. We talked, I was suggested to speak with her from Nancy Gassman, who is here, or was here. Are you here, Nancy, somewhere?
She left.
Okay, so because we talked about checking to see if a body of water can receive a historic designation, as we talked about before, and the answer is it can. And the fact that the Seminole Indians use the New River as a trade route is really fascinating. So we are going to continue pursuing this and find out if we can get some support from the Coast Guard, et cetera, and hopefully the Coast Guard will be able to join us next month. They have the same thing this month as they did last month, the Homeland Security thing. They simply don't know can't account for the time. We had a dock permit and a waiver that were from the city commission a week ago or so. The dock permit at 823 Southeast 2nd Avenue was the one with the mangroves that was approved by the city. The one that we rejected or we turned down was 736 Northeast 20th Avenue. The city approved it. And the city approved it for the reason that we would have approved it, is they had a caveat to make sure they monitor the use of the property and make sure that the individual who owns or rents the property also uses the dock. You cannot have a distinct different owner. So Bob did a great job. That's been memorialized, so we didn't really lose there, so thank you all for that. And that's what I've got with that, and with that, I'm gonna bring this over. I'm sorry I didn't get to waterway crime and safety, guys, I will promise in a minute. But I wanted to get Mr. Drum, and if I can find the file, we will start with it. Probably says Drum on it. So guys, again, to suggest that I'm honored to have Ted Drum here is an understatement. I hadn't had the honor of meeting him. Know where the best group of sandwich is. It's pretty easy to find the family there. And by the way, when I was there and Mr. Drum treated us to lunch, I had my favorite chowder. When Mr. Drum had the grouper sandwich, which suggested to me that's where you get grouper. So, excuse me. I don't know how to describe what you're about to see on these slides, etc. My esteemed guest, Ted Drum, if I recall, Mr. Drum, you were born here in 1938. And when I talk about a cornerstone of our community, I mentioned he's the owner of Lauderdale Marina, 15th Street Fisheries, and Drum Realty. Gentlemen, allow me, and ladies, allow me to introduce Ted Drum. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say that as a citizen, I really appreciate community boards. I was on the 17 years on the P&Z board. It's a commitment. I know when I went off, I thought, gee, I'm going to really miss that. But then I thought back to 2 o'clock in the morning meetings when we flew the Marriott on the beach. All 300 people from Harbor Beach were there screaming, no, no, no. So you got some decisions in the Marine Advisory Board that are just as important. So a little bit about me. I did born, raised here in Fort Lauderdale, went to Northside School, went to Naval Air, went to Lauderdale High. We had a couple of side roads. My dad was a Georgia cracker and wanted to raise his kids on a farm. We moved up to Georgia. He and my mom on a dairy farm, lost all the money, moved back here to Florida, thank God. So that's
expensive defeat.
I love Fort Lauderdale and I'm so very pleased to be involved in our family marina. Starting right here. Where's the best? Is the baby over here?
You're perfect, right there.
Okay. This starts the story of Bob Cox. Bob Cox was the mayor of Lauderdale. He was on the city commission for 22 years. He was a promoter of marine interest in Fort Lauderdale and all of Florida, very, very much so. I need to spend a little time about what he did. Now I'll click through these slides. This is the original Hush Hush torpedo recovery base at the end of Southeast 15th Street. This was during World War II. The Navy leased a piece of land from Gulf Oil, who owned that little piece of land. In 1943, they built a Navy facility called the Port Orleans Navy Facility. And these girls and guys, and I say girls because there was on the property there was a ladies' dorm and a men's dorm, and it's 4 acres. Their job was to go out and retrieve torpedoes that had been fired from ships and planes and boats right off Fort Lauderdale. They were unarmed, thank goodness, and since they were unarmed, they floated. And these folks here, they had 7 little boats on the north side or the left side of the screen that would go out and pick up the torpedo that had been fired but not exploded, and brought it back. And there were 2 laboratories on the property. In these labs, they would research why they worked or why they didn't work and what they could do. And that was built in 1943. The course was over in 45, and that's where we come Bob Cox. Bob Cox came down from, who was my father-in-law, my mentor, and my best friend for a long, long time. He came down from New York City. He was in the war effort. He was not drafted because he was doing development work in generators in New York City, along with some aircraft studies too. He was able to obtain a surplus 84-foot motor sailor. You may recall, you may know, you wouldn't recall it because no one's here that old, I don't think. Maybe. No, I am. The Navy bought yachts, big yachts, to be used in the war effort. This particular one was used in the war effort. He was working in the city. He really wanted to go ahead and come down to South Florida because he knew South Florida, he knew the boating opportunities. He took a leave of absence of 1 year from the New York work, went back to Caltech and got his degree in electrical or structural engineering from outstanding university. Came back. He was married for a little while in L.A. All the movie stars and all that he told about. But he married another lady, and she was a real bulldog, and he saw it. So she, with him, went out and got the Navy to sell them at a very, very little price, an 84-foot motor sailor, which was in horrible condition, you can imagine. But Bob was one of the best mechanics you've ever seen, and he put it back together, got it sailed to Fort Lauderdale. Took a long time coming down, or different times it broke down, but Bob always had his toolkit. Those of you who knew Bob, you will know that anywhere he went, he always had his toolkit. So he was able to bring the ship down here, the yacht, and dock on the be your right, on the right-hand side, which is the south side of the property, and he docked his boat. This was in 1946, 47. 2 sailors came out, and they said, "Sir, you can't dock your boat here. This is a naval facility." And Bob said, "Well, the war's over." They said, "We know that, but we're responsible to take care of it until it goes back to the owners before the war." He had a gift to gab. He brought him aboard. They chatted a while, and they said, "All right, you can stay here for a couple of days. I suggest you get your dinghy out and go around here." And the issue of that ship, or that yacht, was it drew 10 and a half feet. Now, y'all are experts in the area, and you will know there was not a lot of area around Fort Lauderdale at 10 feet. That happened to be on the south side because that's the deepest canal in Fort Lauderdale. In places it's 16 feet deep. So that's where I docked there. So he went out and looked all around, couldn't find anything. Of course, the intercoastal was there, but it didn't have dockage where he could dock. Long story short, he went down to Miami. He went down there to Miami. He worked on the Miami River, which is a natural river. It had deep draft. So he lived on a boat and with his wife, and he worked for a year fixing vessels, fixing boats. Made enough money, came back up here, and by then the property had been returned to Gulf Oil, which is a Mellon family out of Ohio. He knew that Mr. Mellon somehow I found out that Mr. Mellon was down in Alamara on an 84-foot motorcycle. Interesting enough, just coincidental. So he went. He was 29 years old. He went down there. He found the captain of the boat. I'm telling you this because it's really the reason how Lauderdale Marina got started. So, the captain said, "Well, I know you want to meet Mr. Mellon, but everyone wants to meet Mr. Mellon. I can't do that. He's down here on his vacation. He wants to be not disturbed. But I have a problem. We have an 84-foot motor sailor that I can't get the engine started. Everywhere around the Keys, they couldn't find anyone who knew how to fix it. They went to Miami, couldn't find anyone to fix it. Bob Cox said, Captain, I am the finest marine mechanic in the state of Florida. No one could argue with him at that point. Would make much difference if he did, because Bob didn't have a lot of arguments. He just made up his mind that's where it's going to be. So, Captain said, well, would you come back to the boat and see what you can do? Bob said yes. So they go on the boat, and as a mechanic, and I'm sure some of you are, he started to breaking the engine down. Here, had it all lined up. Got down towards the bottom, and at the very bottom, there's a little part about this big, as Bob's description. I can't tell you what it was, but it was important. Bob thought it could make the boat go again. So he said, Captain, take this. I know you're not going to find it now. Take this and go down to Miami. Someone's got this little part. He spent 3 or 4 days down there. He came back and he said, well, it's not the same, but it's close. And Bob looked at it, fooled with it a little bit. He said, well, I think it might work. So he took it down there, took the piece down there, and started putting the engine back together again. And after a couple hours or more, he said, well, Captain, let's see what happens. Boom, the engine started. And this was a big deal. And the captain said, thank you so very, very much. It's been a long time. Mr. Mellon he is the chairman of the board of Gulf Oil. And he has told me, now that you got the engine started, he wants to thank you personally. He goes in and sees Mr. Mellon, and Mr. Mellon said, it's so kind of you to fix my engine. I really appreciate it. I understand you also want to talk to me. Yes, I do. And again, he was 29 years old, a young guy. He said, what can I do for you? He said, well, your company owns, you just took it back after the war. It's a naval facility. It was no longer used. Took it back, and it would be the finest Gulf oil marina maybe in all of South Florida, maybe the whole state of Florida. Of course, Mr. Mellon didn't know about the 4 acres in Fort Lauderdale, but he said, I don't know anything about it, but you've done me a favor. I'll put you in touch with my guys. And he did, and that began the relationship that Bob had with Gulf Oil. He had a 2-year lease. I mean, a year lease, so it's not a really safe sort of a situation. But he was a great tenant, and that's how he got to Lauderdale Marina. Wow. So this is I hope this thing works. This is the intercoastal. Look across the way. There's Harbor Beach, which is not developed. And remember those? Well, you wouldn't, but those bridges went from the end of the islands, and they did that in Rio Vista Isles too. That's before anyone thought there would be a big enough boat to have to get out the intercoastal. But those didn't last too long. So here we go. All right, this is the beginning of the Lauderdale Marina becoming a civilian operation. The building on the right is a laboratory, and by this time, the PT boat or the boat when it retrieved the torpedoes, had moved on. The Navy was closed. This is the Ungava. This Ungava was an 84-foot motor sailor. That's his boat right there.
Wow.
The dock store in the beginning, and the Gulf Oil was right there. And again, that's Harbor Beach across the way, and the Australian Pines. Now, the dock store, interesting is, I'm not sure it's got the shop, but this dock store was out on the very northern end of the dock. And by this time, Bob Gill was developing Harbor Beach. And Bob Gill went to Bob Cox and said, Mr. Cox, your little dock store is not really attractive, looking over our houses that we were building. And he said, could I pay you to move your dock store to the middle of the dock, away from the exact view of my new development? Absolutely, you can. So it moved. This, again, is a shot. It's a Gulf advertising shot. It became the Gulf Marina, of course. And that's my mother-in-law, the little blonde lady, right in the boat. And Bob Cox is not in there, but that was the beginning when they started promoting. That was about 1948 or something like this. Yeah. Okay, and this is again shots from the marina. I'll kind of go through these, but just talk my way.
Official way station.
This is showing sometime in the 50s when the marina put a big sign up, started taking boats. Bob sold the first fiberglass boat in the southern part of the United States. I think the next one was in Atlanta somewhere, and that was a big deal. He had like 38 models, types of boats that he sold. He represented from when he started in 1948. Again, he's a tenant, but Gulf Oil is really great. They are building buildings for him. We have one of the big repair buildings right now that the Gulf Oil built in 1962. They were just terrific landlords, and he was a great tenant. And it turned out be very helpful to him in the future. Another operation. This was the first boat sales area. It was a kind of a car. It was like a boat carport. Bob enclosed it. Probably surely got a permit to do that. But, Bob was kind of famous for that, which caused the problems in the future. But again, that's inside the boat show, Lauderdale. It was a boat show somewhere there. This is probably someone recognizes one of those cars. This is somewhere in the late 50s, I think, and it's beginning to take shape. Okay, here's an aerial photograph. At that point, the dock store had been moved. Bob Gill's property over here, Laura Harbors, all designed by Biggity, 5 different models. Bill Biggity, great architect. He actually ended up designing the 15th Street Fishery later on too. So that's Lauderdale Harbors on the north there. You'll see the undeveloped piece there. That's later Test Harbor, and then now, of course, the 17th Street Marriott. There's a construction there going on. He took lots of pictures, and he did a lot of stuff himself. He was very, very good mechanic, knew how to fix things. My wife and I lived right next door to him. I'm not mechanical at all, and I would go next door to his house and say, put your plumbing hat on and come over next door. Well, he did. Bob was not a teacher; he was a doer. So he come over and fix my plumbing problem.
Mr. Dunkel, you remember that project? You signed off on that, right?
Probably do.
I remember a lot of these pictures. Yes.
All property permit.
Matter of fact, the one that you said was 56. I saw a Chevrolet out there. It was 63.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew someone would have a 63 Chevrolet.
And I also noticed the absence of Lauderdale Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Lauderdale Yacht Club in 1938.
Really? It didn't seem developed in that last
it wasn't
picture.
developed. 1938. Same year as I was born. That's the reason I know that.
Breakwater Tower back there in that picture?
Bridgewater what?
Breakwater Tower back there on.
I don't know that, but that's the Pier 66 before they built the pier, before they built the tower. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
this was later replaced with concrete dock, and we replaced it years later with a floating fuel dock. Bob, one of Bob's early stainless.
Great brand.
Maybe some of you remember that boat.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Fiberglass. This boat was built in Fort Lauderdale. It was called a Lauderdale, and Bob was selling them. That's Bob at the helm, and that's the blonde lady is my wife, and y'all may remember Ernie Phipps. He was head of Burdines here. That's who that is. And Bob was fixing something, always fixing something. That was another boat called the Papoose, and that's a building where the Pier 66 Tower, I think, was built in 1966. Of course, that's Bob. I don't know who those are. Maybe someone would recognize who.
Looks like Ralph Rennick.
Someone knows? Someone, I would say, yeah. And Bob did everything. He's running the forklift there.
Twins on that thing. Those are early twins.
This is our first lift that we had. We put another one in now. The tenant we have right now is First Performance. A fellow named Bobby Bannister. I don't know any of you all know Bobby, but he is the most amazing guy.
They do a terrific job.
Bob Cox and Bobby Bannister are the two best marine mechanics that I've ever known. Okay, things are starting to move. This is a shot from the north, looking. The marina is right there, kind of not the 17th Street Bridge. The first one was built in 1956, so that's sometime after that.
When did they dig out Port Everglades? When was it
Port
moved?
Everglades. Well, Port Everglades is over there.
was before that?
Yeah, the clear spot, which is where the convention center. Go to the other side of the bridge, on the right-hand side. Yeah. And of course.
You're saying the inlet, because it was originally by the heel.
That is the original inlet that they opened up. You see the undeveloped land on the south.
Oh, that's right.
This is beginning to show but I'm not sure why there were so many at one time and streaming along like this. But that's the bridge, the 56 Bridge, Pier 66 property to the left. And things are starting to happen in Harbor Beach.
The water looks clear.
Now, this is Southeast 15th Street. The only thing on the street at that time was the Lauderdale Marina, Joe Amaturo, who just passed away at WFTL. His tower was built, and there was a time earlier, probably a little bit earlier than this, the guy that owned, Fitzpatrick was his name, and he owned all of 15th Street all the way back to Cordova Road, and he owned the property that Bob Gill later built Lauderdale Harbors. And it was sometime probably in the late 40s, and he came to Bob and he said, Bob, I know you're involved in this piece here. I will sell you all of 15th Street for $25,000. He said it could have been $250. I had nothing. I had no money, extra money. Obviously didn't do it. So 15th Street is developed. Wish it had been developed with sidewalks, but it is what it is. We went later on and tried to get the tenants and owners to take a little piece to make sidewalks. What happened, the city made a serious mistake. They were coded for apartment buildings, rentals. Many of them changed to condominiums. Rentals were one parking space, condominiums were two parking spaces. So when it happened, it's just they have no other room. They could have. I don't know how the city would have solved that, but that's what happened. So, okay, now we're moving along. The new dock store is in place. 15th Street is still undeveloped. Cromwell East and Cromwell West is there. That's 17th Street Causeway right over there, which is now the mall, the hotel, all that on the side, and the pier and the port back in the back. This is site. We had a sailboat there in the front. Lauderdale Marina taking shape. That was our dock store before we put the second story. Gentleman who had a Sea Ray dealer, dropping his name right now, but he said, I'd love to be on the top of that building. I will build you for us. Bassett, Dick Bassett, yeah. I will build me an office building on top of there, and I'll pay for it, and you can give me rent credit. So we allow that, and we did it. And Bassett then was there for a while with Sea Ray, but he said, I'm really looking for more room. I'd like to have some more room. Can you go find me something? I was mostly real estate at that time. I looked around, couldn't find anything. He ended up going up to Pompano and built that big piece of property up there. And of course, then he and two other guys started Marine Max, and you know the story there. So Dick Bassett walked away with about $40 million, and
He did okay.
all good. And that's the split. And I believe I'm right about this. Maybe some of you know. I believe that was Don Aronow, the boat racer.
Him and Bob Lagoon.
And he got in some trouble.
High Lift Marina.
Yeah, that's true. Got murdered, I think, down there. Yeah. But Bob was able to get that boat, and he took it up to our place up in Thousand Islands and totally reconfigured it. And now that boat is still running around Thousand Islands called the Split. One of our early signs, which is kind of ugly, but that's a 17-foot whaler right there.
$1 for valet parking.
Great, that was my first boat. I say that first boat, you wouldn't hardly believe it. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I went off to college. I went to service, came back after 7 years of the service. I had never been on a recreational boat in my life until I met Bob Cox. So Bob and I together bought that. We bought it out of the inventory. Got a good deal on it, of course. This is the beginning of the 15th Street fishery. I guess we should say what happened. How did we do the 15th Street fishery? In early 70s, 72, 73, Gulf Oil came to Bob after 30 years and said, Mr. Cox, we're uncomfortable with environmentally sensitive land, especially on the water. We want to be out of ownership. And you've been a great tenant, and we will give you 6 months option to purchase the property from us. And of course, Bob was very, very happy about it. And by then I was in the real estate business and, doing pretty well. Not enough to have a lot of money, but still doing well. And he came to me. He said, Ted, I've got a chance. I've got an option on the marina property. Do you have any money? I said, Bob, I got out of the service 4 years ago. I don't have any money. And I said, let me ask you. You've been a marine operator do you have any money? He said, no, I don't have any money. I don't have any money for buying things. I said, well, we got a problem. So, long story short, there's a long, long story, but back in those days, in the 70s, 60s, 50s, it meant something if you knew the bank president. Those of you who've been in business long enough, it was important. The bank president, they were just not many more important people. Today, I think if you know the bank president, you don't want to know him, and you don't want to know you. So how we did it, I don't know, but we went in and Phil Cheney. I'm sure some of y'all will remember First Federal Broward. Phil was president. Bob was a good friend of Phil. He used to fill up his boat with gas air. Ed Dawson was vice president, and I knew Ed from the Bahamas. We had properties over there together. And so we went in and sat down with the president, Phil Cheney, and the vice president, Ed Dawson, at First Federal Broward. And they start out with, you know, Mr. Cox, you have ran a really very, very good business, and I'm so happy to have been able to be your customer. Ed Dawson and I knew each other from the islands, and also I was past military, and Phil appreciated that. So they said, okay, we're sitting there, just Phil Cheney, Ed Dawson, Ted Drum, Bob Cox. Guys, how much money do you have to put forward to buying this? We give you an option. And Bob said, I don't have any money for that. And I said, I don't have any money for that either. Well, guys, you mean you're coming into this meeting here and you're going to tell me and Ed, you have no money? That's true, sir. Well, Bob, you've been a great tenant. Ted, you serve your country. We're going to figure this out. And so we were able to get enough money to buy the property. I mean, we had enough money to buy the property. And then we had to get enough money to build the fishery a year later. And it was George Colwell. Y'all might sure remember George Colwell. That's the beginning. Designed by Bill Beatty, which is a Harvard architect, 1948, warm weather architect. Built many, many homes. You've gotten, I'm sure that he didn't pass away, he got murdered by his wife in his bed out there in the southwest area. But he was a curmudgeon. Anyone, you remember, Bill, here comes Bill Biggin. He's there trying to argue about something. But anyway, Bill, we went to George's stores, and George was busy, couldn't do it, so Bill Biggin built designed our property. A quickie. I don't know how much time you got, but I'll keep talking until you tell me stop. We sat down at the closing. We were all set to fix the fishery or buy the necessary funds to build the fishery. And Phil Cheney said to me, take this and it's a commencement of construction. This will be recorded after we close on the property with the mortgage. And I said, well, don't worry about it. George Corwell already filed it yesterday. And anyone who's a lawyer, if you file something, you are predating the mortgage that's got to go on the property. So the lawyer immediately said, we cannot make this loan. And I can imagine, wait, paperwork. You can solve paperwork. We don't know how. I happened to meet, I knew my very best friend at that time, Walt McCrory, said, I got a partner who can figure this out. And his name's Peter Brandt. And we worked it out to where Bill Biggety's wife sat at the entrance to the property. Every single person who brought to the property to use to build this building, even 10 pounds of nails, they had to sign an agreement that they would be after the recording of the mortgage. It was the only way to solve it. Sure. So when you file mess was constructed, make sure that everything all done, because it was a shock to us. Anyway, okay, we're finishing 15th Street Fisheries, looking good there. By the way, the business is absolutely, it was challenging this summer, but business is real good. Little boat there, the whaler. It's a funny shape. It's a much better looking boat. But that's.
What year did you finish?
I would say that was maybe someone else.
Early 80s?
No,
late.
Johnson's on it.
Oh, it was Johnson's.
70s?
Yeah, you're right. There's Johnson Motors and now it's Mercury.
They were Evinrude.
Oh, Evinrude Johnson. Probably 70s.
I told you I didn't spend a lot of time on boats.
76, 77.
That's all right. I think that's BL walking in.
I spend a lot more time now. And this is a boating magazine where may have been the Whitbreads, I think.
Yeah,
This is Texas. We had changed from Gulf Oil because the Gulf Oil went out of business, and we had Texaco, and then we decided Texaco was down there in Venezuela, and they were communists, so we got rid of Texaco, and we put our own sign up there, just Lauderdale Marina sign. Some active. This is the old bridge is still there, I'm sure. And this was a Whitbread.
Oh, that's one of the sailboats.
That's in the 80s.
This is shot from the 15th Street fishery, from the 17th Street Bridge. We lit up the fishery, and to this day, it's always very, very knowledgeable. And obviously, I jumped over many, many years, just downtown Fort Lauderdale right there. I know a lot of people say, to include my wife, she didn't like high-rise. I say, well, honey, high-rises have people living in them, and they do business at our business, so she got over it. Another shot. I took this shot myself. I was in a boat 6 months ago, and it's just all the setting there was. If you've not been to the 15th fishery on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon with Malcolm Farrell playing the guitar, it's a real scene. It is a lot of fun. It really, really is. So that's our tarpon. The biggest thing about the 15th Street fishery is feeding the tarpon. Those are a lot of jack right there, but feeding the tarpon, feeding the fish, and the adults like it just almost as much. And we finished the fishery. We've got this fabulous downstairs bar, all glass. This is we did during the pandemic. We built a upstairs bar. That for those of you who like to go out to dinner and take your spouse, sitting in that bar with the looking to the south where you can see cruise ships going out towards to the port. You can talk to the people from one side of the bar too, and that's fun. So give it a try. This is an upstairs bar we built recently. It's a much bigger place than you think it is. This is one of our dining room with one of the great big tarpon. This is our main dining room here, and there's pictures on this. I think the next shot maybe. Yeah, these are photographs from I think 44 years ago, where my daughter found a place in Germany to redo large photographs. So, you know,
That's great.
It's fun to see. Where I was 44 years old, I think, that all my kids are now they're in their 60s and they're 8 years old. So anyway, finishing up here, another shot from there, another shot. Water taxi, lifeblood for us. They are what a wonderful thing for Fort Lauderdale. They really are.
We were in tenant upstairs. Yeah, that was great.
And Bill Walker, he runs a tight ship. He really does.
He's a good friend to all.
It's a lot of fun for Fort Lauderdale. This is one of those times. It's Friday or Saturday afternoon. All things there. And that's our little well. One time, I could get people call. They know the tarpon in there. They call and say, "When do you let the tarpon out of the pen?" Well, you'd be sure, because it looks like it's enclosed. And say, well, we just kind of do that. Let them do their own. Actually, tarpon are interesting. They'll be there. There'll be 30 or 40 of them there, and they'll go. They go. I don't know where they go. 3 days later, they come back. Yeah, that's some of the tarpon right there in the corner.
Too. Whose idea was it for the koi fish in the front?
Pardon me?
Those koi fish?
Oh yeah, we've got.
Absolutely beautiful.
They are huge. You right, walk over, you see them there, and kids. Yeah. It's I'm certainly I'm bragging, but we're very very pleased of it. It's a family operation, brothers-in-laws and sisters-in-laws, and all my kids worked there one time or another. There's a dock store, which is really a fun spot. Now the big boats, not that big, but I know that y'all been discussing really big boats up and down the river. That's one of our demo boat, and that's the Omni right there. If you've not been to the top of the Omni to see the view, it is spectacular. And that's two of our demo boats, new boats, and that's a new 42. We just sold a 42 last week to someone in England. That's the same one. And that also is a 42. Yeah, 4. I thought they had 5. I thought, where'd that come from? We don't have 5 quads anymore, but there are. That's just the inside of it. That's inside of 42. We don't mind if you go. Don't mind me advertising here. Sale. We got them. We got boats. We got plenty of boats down there right now. I have a little 28-foot twin engine. My wife and I have this. It's just fun. That's the inside of our dock, our repair shop. That's the view. That's the pier and the big boat. Oh. Don't think hey, I introduced him. My grandson, Clark Drum. He is with Ocean Independence Yacht Broker. And he and his cousin started a new drink about 2.5 years ago called Two Drums, which they're sold all over town. And it's a great drink. And you see it next time, you know, I know about that, I'll buy it.
Thanks for the ad.
There you go. It's the only one that's used is rum, right?
One of the few, yeah.
This is some drone shots. This is the very end. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Anybody have questions? As I promised, that was.
If we need a table, can we drop your name? If we need a table when we're there, can we drop your name?
You know, people ask that all the time.
I don't want to disappoint you.
We gonna have a party for 10, 15?
I come by boat all the time, and they want to throw me inside. I said I want to sit outside, so in case they need me by the boat.
Yeah, well, that's the favorite place. The dock outside now is almost exceeds some of the inside. Oftentimes exceeds. I'll give you a card and you call me and I will make sure you get there.
And I promise, he will call you. He will call you. So Ted.
I'll buy him dinner.
So Ted, before we send you off, we have a little chocolate for you from the Marine Board. But as I said, this was just a special visit. We'll stay in touch with you. Hopefully we continue working with you.
Absolutely.
And
Again,
pleasure to meet you, Clark.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for serving. It's something that's so important for citizens. And it's a big board too. Big board.
Thank you again. So Ted, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to leave. Whatever you feel like.
I'm going to Daniel's for dinner.
There you go.
Anyone been to Daniel's?
Yeah. Be careful. They charge you for the rolls.
Right.
$8.
Listen to me when you go there.
You know, there's a young man. You know, they have two. One in Coral Gables. The one in Coral Gables, the steakhouse, has been
top 50 in the world.
In the world, you're right.
Top 50 steakhouse in the world.
Yes. And Tom Angelo was a lawyer here for years, and that's his business and others, and he's running the show.
Come by and ask you, do you want to roll?
So Doc, he'll put it on your credit card, right? You just got
I have an account.
Thank you very much.
We don't get the rolls.
So, wow. Okay. I'm not sure where we are. We got to move forward here. We got to do waterway crime and safety. We have 10 minutes with our friend Kate, and we have a dock permit to do, guys. Let's do a waterway crime boating safety, guys. I'm sorry to keep you here. Chad, kick it off if you would.
I'll be quick. We had 8 fireboat calls this month. One that was probably known on the news last week. Two people stole a van from, I believe, Hollandale. There was a police chase that pursued. They crashed through Yacht Haven through the gate, dumped the vehicle at the end of the canal. We actually had a bunch of trucks on the water at the time, or on the road. Our dive team got there, and I think within 14 minutes, they pulled the driver out, started CPR on him. Before they got to the hospital, they were able to get pulses back. The female was a passenger, and it was somewhere in the vehicle, and she ended up expiring. They worked her and got her to the hospital. She passed, and the driver is still alive. And we had several other calls, but that was one of the main ones.
Mr. Easton, are you somewhere around there?
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to bring up two cases we had.
Yeah, that's my house.
Somebody here? It's going to be at 919 Birch Road. We worked with the building department. They received a complaint about a floating dock installed without the required permit. We went out on the boat with the building department, and they were cited for mounting the guardrails driven into the waterway without the required permit. On March 12th, we went back out on March 25th, and they removed the guardrails and tied the, be a couple others, and then they wind up just tying it to the dock, which is fine.
Thank you.
They could install the guardrail into the water.
So they're not.
I don't know if they're obtaining the permit for that, but until then, all they had to do was remove the guardrail to comply, and they did that. They are good for right now.
Is that a jet ski operation?
Is this parental?
I don't know. We went out, I brought the building department out with me on the boat. They just asked to go by there and take some quick photos.
Where's that at?
919 North Birch Road. It's a condo.
It is
A couple condos.
It is a rental.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Gotta be across from the Galleria, right?
The next one is gonna be at 5220 Northeast 29th Avenue. Basically, we got a complaint of the tree encroaching into the waterway too much. Too low, too far out. Cited them on March 11th, and we went back. We met with the property owner, showed them how to cut it back, and they did. We went back out on March 19th. They got it done really quick, and complied.
Nice job.
So, cleared up a lot of the waterway. That's about it.
Nice job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Travis, you still around here?
I'm here.
Thank you.
I'll be quick as well. One case of note from Lauderdale Marine Center, one of the vessels that was there had their fishing gear stolen. It was about $9,000 worth of fishing gear was taken from the boat. Unfortunately, there was a delayed call, so we couldn't process it, but we did get good video of the culprit, and so we put that out to all of our friends out there with the video. And I'll also say our two new additions to our Marine unit are all fully trained now. I just signed off on the last one this past Wednesday, and he is actually a former, very experienced detective, so he'll be an asset for us out there for doing follow-ups up on these cases. And one last thing, we have had an uptick in rental jet ski use, and probably one of the unintended consequences of putting that run zone at slow speed is that it pushed everybody south into that shorter run zone, which makes it a little more chaotic because you have a higher number of skis in a little area. So we've been getting a lot of complaints from the residents over there. So we've been trying to address that as best we can over there. We've been sitting up there writing a lot of tickets, some warnings. Mostly for the guides, we'll get the tickets, and the renters will normally get warnings. A lot of them just don't understand. So we've been trying to hit that hard. We see a lot of complaints for that. So, that's on our radar. Spring break was pretty good for us. It wasn't too much. We went out with the Coast Guard and did some charter inspections and shut some folks down and checked some other folks that were in full compliance. So that's been been positive for the community. So that's all I got.
So, go ahead, Bob.
Oh, yeah, quick question.
Yes.
This is a photograph right outside of Port Royal in the Intercoastal Waterway.
Yes.
Are you aware that those buoys are there?
I am, and I have contact Aton to have them removed.
Okay.
So it just takes them a little time to.
All right.
to
Was this put out there by a private party?
I think so. I don't have confirmation, but I definitely wasn't put in by any government.
All right. Thanks.
So I've got a question. A resident on the New River has made me aware of a couple of charter boats that are making pickups along the condemned docks on the New River, where the old riverfront was. In front of the wharf.
Right.
And what's the protocol there on if he wanted to report that?
So the best way to do it would be to give us like the normal kind of pickup times for that, and us or anybody, any police officer or park ranger can go out there and tell them they're not allowed to pick up along that area. And the protocol is that the Parks and Recs director has said is that will get a 24-hour ban from there. The captain will, and then if he picks up again within 24 hours, then he'll be charged with trespassing. If he picks up again after 24 hours, then he'll get like a week ban and so on and so forth until it's a year-long ban. We've had to do it a few times, not there, but at George English Park. So that's kind of where it's at. If it's someone's like just sitting there kind of waiting for people to show up, and you can call it on a emergency line, and if I have somebody we'll start heading that way, and if we see them there, or we'll even get on the radio and see if there's a park ranger that's close that can head over there and make contact with the captain of the boat and trespass one.
Anybody have any other questions, Travis or Ed? We lost Chad, he had to run. So, yes, please.
I was gonna ask Travis, last time you talked about some people in like Sylvia with the anchoring getting citations that they were gonna go to the court system. Can you fill us in? Have they ever been penalized?
So as of right now, none of these cases have gone to trial.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for all these cases to go to trial. So when they get the NTA, it's a arrest on paper instead of physical arrest. So they get an arraignment date, and then from the arraignment date, they get a court date. And everybody that has gone has, on their court date, asked for a public defender, and then they get granted or not granted a public defender. And then once they do that, the public defender has some time to review the case. Then they set a trial date, and we are set for a couple trial dates this month. I don't have the date at the top of my head, but this month is supposed to be a few trial dates for it. So hopefully they won't get continued again, and they'll get the trial date, and we can finally get to see like what Judge Fry is kind of doing, where his mindset is with that. I've been told that he has little patience for this. He'll probably give these people some opportunity to leave or fix their boats or whatever their issue is. But after that, I don't think he's going to have much patience. So as of right now, we haven't had any go to trial yet. Some people have left. We've actually been successful with. We got one of our main guys who's been there forever. We got him to leave. And we've been I sent the Coast Guard to check his bills or check his Y valves. We went out there and had him produce his log for disposal of his waste. And when he couldn't produce that, he was cited for that. We went back a week later. Where's your log? Where are you dumping your waste? And so you got that proof of it. If you have a bigger than 26-foot boat, you have to have a head on board, and it could be a portable head, but you have to take it to a proper facility that takes human waste. And when they don't have that, then they get charged with it. So we've been doing that, and I guess he just got kind of tired of that and got himself down in the marina. I'm not sure. I think in Hollywood somewhere or something. So we're moving these along as the law allows us to. But as far as those NTAs, hopefully next month I'll have a update with that. Hopefully a couple of these will have gone to trial, and I'll have little update for that, but right now I don't have anything.
So thank you. I bumped into Chief Schultz on the way in. Number one, he asked me to send his best to Bob. City folks had planned to drop in. Everybody was spread kind of thin. But Travis, your guys, the chief, you guys are kicking ass. I mean, what you've done in Lake Sylvia, the way you've mounted, everything we talk about starts with education and then enforcement. The education doesn't mean anything if you don't have anybody backing up enforcing. So at least on my behalf, as probably everybody else here, you guys are knocking it out of the park. So thank you very much.
One more quick thing. I know it has been some talk interest. Our motor bid is live right now.
That's great.
3 votes for new motors is live right now. So hopefully we'll next month I'll have an update for that.
That's exciting news. Thank you. So, guys, we've got a couple other things to get to. We have
Mr. Chairman, before we move on, have we been able to get any patrol on that Norfolk River yet?
I'm not aware of that, sir.
Okay, Travis?
Until it's dredged,
can't get up.
I can't physically get a boat in there.
Where?
In the Norfolk, and they're past Broward. That's Broward. Yeah.
Okay. My recommendation, Mr. Chairman, as a first item being presented to the City Commission, is to build a ramp on the Norfolk River so we can get some patrol there. And get involved with water management and see if we can get some dredging done that's needed there. Here's a waterway that's been contaminated, that's been neglected since the 1960s, and all we do is talk about it.
Sam, I must tell you, I appreciate you bringing it up. We don't just talk about it.
I know.
No, let me finish.
That's all that's been happening.
Let me finish now. I mentioned to you that I spoke with the Coast Guard. I mentioned to you and I mentioned to your commissioner that I found out that the area of the North Fork was federalized. I suggested somebody dig into that. It was federalized in 1978, and if that is the case, as the Coast Guard is saying, then we have the federal dollars behind us. As far as I know, I suggested to you, I suggested to your commissioner, etc., they dig into that. I don't know if anybody's done that, but that we need some help from your commissioner as well. So we'll do everything we can, but there's only so much we can do as a board. If you want me in a damn boat going up there, I promise you I'll do it because we've been up there. But to suggest that we are not doing what we can as a board is very frustrating because there is nothing more important to me than the clean water up in the North Fork. I'm really quite serious. I don't have the answer. Andrew spent time, but we're trying to do it. If you have an answer, please tell me.
Mr. Chairman, since 1960, this waterway has been contaminated. We have done absolutely nothing other than sit here and talk about it and tell us that we're testing water. And testing is not doing anything as far as cleanup.
I don't disagree.
Recommendations being presented to the City Commission gives them something to present even to the state or the federal government.
So we spoke the last meeting about sending up a recommendation to the City Commission. Do you have a recommendation of what you would like us to send to the City Commission?
Communication to the city.
Communication, I'm sorry. Is there a particular item, how would you like to address this? The City Commission is well aware of the fact that that is a trouble area. I've made them very aware of it. You realize we have sunshine laws, so you could be assured you're not seeing any of the correspondence that goes between me and the City Commission summing up our meetings and the importance of the North Fork. So I will tell you, I and the rest of this board will do everything we can because the citizens in that area are important as every other citizen, as any other commission district. But you tell me what to do and we'll do it.
That waterway connects with the Everglades, number one.
No, don't lecture me. Tell me what to do.
1 second, please. That waterway connects with the Everglades. We have started a major cleanup of the Everglades and not involved that river at all as far as the cleanup is concerned. And that needs to be presented to the City Commission so we can start some action as far as cleaning.
Okay.
May I offer a practical solution that could start tomorrow? Okay?
Please, sir.
We have the Aquatic Control Group that we are paying millions of dollars to. They are under contract with the city right now. We could go to the contract administrator and discuss the option of bringing one of those boats up there at least once a month and spending the day dredging and cleaning up, okay?
No bueno, no bueno.
Why not?
You're not gonna dredge up there.
I'm not talking about dredging.
You just said dredge.
I'm sorry, cleaning up.
But
Skimming.
that's not the issue. You don't see floating debris. That's not the problem. The problem is the water doesn't move, and Sam is right. Yes, we know where it starts, etc. Dr. Gassman is gone, otherwise we'd back her in the corner and ask her thoughts on this. But the fact is, as a board, we'll do everything we can to support that district. You're not sending a boat up there. Travis will tell you, not going up there.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna beg to disagree with you on this. I have been up there by boat.
Okay.
Underneath Broward Boulevard.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see the trash that is in the water. You can see it's something to start with, and it's something that can be done. So, to say that it's not accessible is not accurate. I would ask you, sir, we have an 18-foot Boston whaler that is still in your fleet.
I have a connector boat that drafts about 8 inches, and I went up there at nearly high tide, and I got probably about
it's really low
50 yards past the Broward Bridge, and that's as far as I could get in there. I attempted to get all the way through there. I really want to make a good effort to do that, and like that is, I mean, that boat drafts nothing. It's a big John boat, and I could have got about 50 yards past that, and that's as far as I could get.
Okay, so listen, guys, we got to move forward here. We have people waiting. I want to sum it up like this. Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Ware have brought this up, and we know it's important. And Ms. Ware is the one who said to us, all we do is talk, etc. And I'm very respectful of that. I give my heart and soul to this board. Every one of you does. You show up here, you're on time, you're early, you all care. So to suggest that we don't care about the North Fork offends me to no end. I spent time up there, Andrew spent time, Marco spent time, we've all tried to research it. We'll do everything we can, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's above my pay grade. So we could send up a recommendation to the city commission, but I'm doing everything I can to see if we could find money up there, to see if we could find grant dollars. The city commission will listen to us, but when Travis says you can't get a boat up there, you can't get a boat up there. And if you can, it isn't skimming the surface. The water doesn't move. So we need to figure out what to do. And if indeed it's federalized, as the Coast Guard said in 1978, we got partners with deep pockets. So my suggestion is, Ms. Ware and Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Fernandez, is I would suggest you speak with your commissioner. Number one, check and see if indeed the statement by the Coast Guard is correct, that that is a federalized body of water under 95, because that would make a hell of a difference. And if you have recommendations, please bring it back to us and tell us what we can do, because I ain't got the answer. Does anybody else?
Yeah,
Mr. Dunkel, hold on, Mr. Dunkel,
No,
please.
I defer.
Thank you. I would make one more recommendation, and that is to seek out somebody at the South Florida Water Management District. Because if water flow is an issue there, then perhaps we can tap them as a source on a possible solution.
So, go ahead, wait one sec, please. Mr. Dunkel, please.
I want to take you beyond this communication right now and focus on, at some point, having a communication with the city commission. It should not come out of a open discussion like this. I think some of the members should go home and come up with a series of bullet points so that you have a carefully crafted communication to the commission. I don't pretend to know the answers, other than a process.
So the guy who says he doesn't know the answers, but he actually does know all the answers, just told us what to do. I would recommend that Sam, Rhonda, any of us.
They can't get together individually.
We can't, it has to be respecting the sunshine laws. You can give me 4 or 5 bullet points, okay? I'm sorry, we're gonna do what we can. Send it to Andrew, we'll summarize, we'll send it to the city commission.
The people that can put these bullet points together does not necessarily have to be limited to those 3.
That's correct. That's why I said
There's others that have background.
Any of us. Mr. Beckoff, you have experience. You have your thoughts. Travis has his thoughts. If I can bother everybody for just 3 or 4 bullet points, whether it's on the North Fork or anything else you want us to deal with, I promise you will get it in front of the city commission. What happens then, I would suggest in the case of your commission, your district, that we get Pam Beasley Pittman to lead the charge there, and I'm happy to help her. And I know that she has a plate full, but we all do, as I've said before. So, you know, we're the volunteers. We will do everything we can to help that district. Just tell us where you need us. So, yes, ma'am.
It's not a disrespect to the board here. It's just that it's an ongoing issue in our area.
I know.
And I do walk, and I am on Delaware, and I do go under the bridge, and I do understand with the equipment that the sergeant has, Travis, that you cannot go underneath if the tide is high. I have been underneath that bridge on a boat. You have to lower your head or go as low as possible to go under. So I'm not just talking. I do walk it, and I do the mangrove. The mangrove had a lot of homeless people in it. It's very trashy. And I do think start by cleaning it would be the first thing to do. You're right, there's no water flow. Then it goes into Delaware Park. That's another mess there, where the county, and I'm gonna say it on record, do not keep it clean. There's palm fronds and stuff around. I walk everywhere. So I do know exactly what I'm seeing and how things are being maintained. Salvation Army area, it was really, really bad until code enforcement went in there from the city of Fort Lauderdale, cleaned it up a little bit, made it more better. The homeless was in there overwhelmingly living inside the mangrove. So it's not like I'm not speaking, I'm there, looking, the feces and stuff that's in the area. I see the muddy, mucky waters. I see broken branches. It's been there forever. There was no manatee. From a kid, I used to go to Sweden State, be there. My father took me there. So I know what the water should look like than it looks like today. So I'm not just speaking, I'm talking from experience, living it, now swimming in it as well, Mr. Sweeting during the holidays. So the water, and I can understand the frustration of Mr. Sam, it is very dirty, it is smelly. And if you go by Sixth Trunk and the New River there, you can smell it and you can know that it's dirty. Not only that, the water, and I also go to Shady Banks area. I put my feet in the water, then I had to go to the doctor to get treated for it because I start having these little bumps on it. So the intercoastal is very dirty, and it's a concern for me because I grew up swimming, surfing in Cali, in Pismo Beach, so I do understand the water quality. So I'm just disappointed, and it's not a reflection of the board, Chair. I don't want you to think that it's a reflection of the board. Just want to bring it to the top. And as Mr. Sam, it's been there since 1960. So, and I think what's been happening in our community, it's just not. Water was at the time was not the number one issue, but now it is an issue because it's our drinking water as well. And if this is the city of Fort Lauderdale, and I'm going to say this over and over again, I've said it for the last 30 years, the Venice of America, we should represent that a city whole. That's all.
So before I toss the tire, let me make one comment. When you say you spend your time up there, that's what troubled me. I spent half a day up there with Andrew, with Lewis, Marco, Barry Flanagan. Others have gone to visit by themselves. I would tell you you're wrong when it comes to Delaware Park. It's not dirty, it's disgusting. I felt that the fact that we're excusing the fact that it's a county park is nonsense. If I lived in that district, that is a spectacular park that seems like nobody cares about. So I'd start there with the county because that is disgusting. Walking through there, it's dangerous, etc., and that does not reflect well on that district as well. So I'm going to tell you, we spend time and we understand it. And Delaware Park is as nice a park as there is in Fort Lauderdale, but nobody is spending any time on it. And that, to me, sends the wrong message. So there's a big picture. I'd like to suggest in moving forward with this that we all agree to send Andrew a few bullet points on thoughts about clean water, whether it's a North Fork, etc. We'll summarize it. I'll bring it back to us next month, then we'll send a recommendation to City Commission. Yes, sir.
And if they can be as concise as possible, that would be important so that I can consolidate them and distribute in advance of the meeting.
So, go ahead, Tyra, please. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to say this and let you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, but we are a board that is hard to push action because we don't have any leverage. You have to have a champion to push this stuff, right? You guys are obviously the champions on this board pushing this, and everyone is respectful to that. You championed a lot of the Middle River, right? I mean, that's what it is. But Unfortunately, you have to have a champion that can do things. The district commissioner is the only one that can really put it in front of the board, in front of the commission, and argue at it like you're doing here at our board. And then it forces them to actually hear it and push it. And like make it an agenda item, if there's forceful enough, someone has to make it an agenda item, the mayor. So, am I wrong on this? Like, am I off on the side on this?
So what's important to know is that if there is a communication to commission from this board, it will go on the conference agenda and be discussed at the conference meeting in the afternoon.
Right.
And I would ask, once that happens, I will let you know, once we assemble it, and please come to that meeting and speak to it, because you'll have an opportunity to speak to it at the conference agenda.
Andrew, I'm seeing it more in like the fact that if you have if a commissioner appointed you, you know them at some level, right? They're just not picking names out of a hat. You know them at some level. If I have an issue, I'm going to call my commissioner that appointed me, and I'm going to talk to him about it. On a side note, whether it's email or talking. If he feels like he needs to champion that specific thing that I'm worried about, he would bring it up at a commission meeting, and then put it on the record for the commission meeting. And if he's really supportive of it, he's going to continue bringing it up, and he's going to push it, just like you guys are at this meeting. The problem with us is that we don't have any power to push it forward. That commission meeting has power to say, okay, let's make this a real agenda item, and let's have a talk about it, and let's figure out a way to fix it. So the first thing, these bullet points are great to give to Andrew, but I'm assuming that your commissioner is the commissioner that appointed you, is the commissioner that is part of that district. They need to start acting. If they appointed you specifically, and or you guys were appointed because you really want to fight this battle, they have to fight it with you. That's my opinion.
Correct.
Why would we wait and further analyze and create a more concise bullet point? Why can't we just send a communication immediately, at least raising concern? We're concerned with the state of the water quality of the North Fork River.
Somebody has to write it. Is you're doing that through Andrew, which is an official,
if you want.
which is an official channel, right?
Good.
You should do both.
I'm saying if you give
concerning if it's not-
Andrew an official bullet points on what we need to try to focus on.
It's going to come right back to this board. So when one is ready, there will be a motion, which will be a communication to the commission, which will get on the conference agenda, and then there'll be one representative from the board that can speak to it at that meeting, at least one representative.
At that commission meeting.
At that conference agenda, once it's scheduled. I'll let you all know when it's going to be scheduled.
And in the meantime, you can harp to your commissioner by calling them, emailing them yourself that had appointed you, and telling them, hey, this is something that's going on.
If you have a concise communication.
How concise are we talking here? I'm not an attorney.
Well, what are you gonna say? We're concerned about the North Fork?
I think the concern of the water quality of the North Fork River and the potential of the federalization of the waterway being utilized to activate dredging.
Sound like an attorney.
Chair, can we do that?
We can do it.
Do whatever we want.
But if somebody, we would have to write it up, we would have to agree on the language, etc. My thought is, I would rather see us measure a couple more times before we send it up. And it can happen, we don't have to wait for another meeting. So you could send your thoughts to Andrew. Andrew can summarize them. We can send a message back, and we could summarize those messages and send it up to the commission.
That does require another meeting, because the board has to be the one.
Andrew.
I understand that, but I say you need to vote on it. Yes, I agree.
And I stick with my prior recommendation, because I've seen a lot of these communications, and you want to come up with some very specific things, not just federalized, dredge, so on, or water quality. Come up with more specificity, and that's why I think these clear bullet points, as concise as possible, is going to be your best marketing technique to get it to the commission.
Can I just offer one sort of a macro perspective where we're sort of delving into the minutia on how to do this, and something that is kind of stuck in the back of my mind, and I've brought it to city staff, and I've had occasion to do it in the past, and that is what Fort Lauderdale really needs and is sorely lacking is a comprehensive approach to clean waterway management. And I think that we put it on the whiteboard, but we see fragmented efforts, from very specific areas, but what we don't really have is a comprehensive plan to clean up the waterways. And I think it's probably in our best interests, individually, in your own communities as a board, to kind of start looking at that and looking at, identifying the areas that we need to focus on, and how to fund these programs. Because this isn't just sending, like I had suggested, sending the Aquatic Control Group up the North Fork or having them skim. It's
Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
It's a major issue with a lot of components to it. And it's probably time that, I don't know if this is the place to do it, or if we can develop a plan to look at these things, and I'd be happy to.
We have a guest over there who may have some thoughts for you. Come on up.
Yeah, just for introducing myself again, Todd Hyde, the Deputy Public Works Director. I'm also filling in for Marco as he left, and as we're actively recruiting for a new Chief Waterway Officer. So I just listened to the conversation, and as far as the North Fork River, I believe Aquatic Controls does go up there, so we can come back and see kind of what stats there are and what their frequency of cleanings up there for that. Dredging has been, the hardest thing with dredging is the funding mechanism for it. Because anytime you dredge, usually even if you go for grants, you have to come up with matching dollars for dredging. Dredging is very expensive. Back in 2015, the city developed a dredging master plan to look at how to holistically dredge canals and waterways in the city, and it got bogged down that there was no direction to move forward on how to fund that program, so it's kind of been just there. So whether it's a federalized waterway, whether it's a state waterway, there have to be some city contribution funds to that dredging project. So the water quality actually in the North Fork, it actually passed. The results passed the state standard last week. So now too, so it did pass. This week it is high because of the rain and stuff. So
when was that testing done?
When was it done?
Where?
The testing for the North Fork is at Sweeting Park. North Fork, that's the one test that we have.
And the first time,
Mighty Waterkeeper, yes.
within the first time within 10 years, it passed this week.
Passed last week.
Last week.
Yeah, passed the 130 number was
Really?
the state number.
I'd like to see that report, please.
It's on there. It's on the website. I can show you online right after the meeting. So I can share that.
Thank you. Thank you.
The North Fork has been dredged, since probably, I don't have the exact date, and I think when Dr. Gassman gave her presentation to this board, probably the last 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
So that kind of, it dredged, the North Fork was dredged, maybe back in the 90s, 80s, I think.
80s, yes.
Okay. So it has been dredged before, to get rid of, to remove that sediment from
That's what the dredging was, to move the sediment that was in there.
To move the sediment that came from the wastewater treatment plant that we have right there at Cistern. So it has been dredged, in the 80s to get that legacy contaminant sediment out there that was from the wastewater treatment plant discharge that went into the North Fork. That went way back.
Why can't this waterway be included in with the Everglades cleanup, the Everglades rehabilitation?
To me, I don't think the Everglades, if you look at the Everglades cleanup, the SERP, that's primarily looking at the actual federal lands of Everglades way out west. I don't believe anything east of that could be incorporated into that, and that's, the plans.
I looked at that waterway, and it connects with the Everglades.
It does. It's through the C, I believe it's the C12, I believe. The challenge there is, like Commissioner mentioned, the flow, because you have that flood control pressure there right across from the swamp shop. So you have that from that the South Florida Water Management District does manage. So they control the water flow into the North Fork at that point in time.
And since we have federal funds being used to rehab the Everglades, some of those federal funds should be able to be channeled over to other canals and rivers in South Florida?
Yeah, I don't know how that federal program is set up for local project programs, things like that.
Who do we ask the question to?
Army Corps of Engineers,
Army Corps of Engineers,
EPA,
Department of Interior,
EPA.
So-
Lisa Allen.
So, first of all, Todd, thank you for this. This is a man with tremendous experience. Todd was gracious enough to join us at another meeting. Excuse me. Funding's available. There's plenty of dollars out there. We could tap into all kinds of grants, et cetera. So I don't think money's the issue. Bob has a suggestion. Bob, what did you suggest a moment ago with this?
Well, to jumpstart this a little bit, because I know some of you don't like the idea of maybe going next month, and I appreciate what you're saying, what you're thinking. Perhaps what we could do is, when the minutes are transcribed, Andrew, because each time we go to the commission on a dock waiver, what he does is he yellow underscores or yellow highlights the minutes of that particular item, and it's added to the item that goes to the commission. What I'm thinking is you may want to consider having Andrew go through that process as to this discussion right now, and have the chair go ahead and send that to each one of the elected officials. Hey, this is an item that's being discussed. We're going to be coming back with some more suggestions later.
Yeah, and just so you know, Ben Sorensen.
Yeah, I gotta take a second.
Ben Sorensen does have a waterway working group.
Yes.
And there's something there, perhaps, I don't know, with respect to this issue, but he has tapped into some of the folks at NSU to talk about this type of thing, and I don't know where they're at, to be honest with you, but that might be something to.
So Ben started the Waterway Working Group right after the young lady died on the Intercoastal.
Yes.
It included the city manager, a bunch of folks, et cetera. It's evolved. I've actually joined the Waterway Working Group. The meeting was supposed to be next week. It's been canceled. It's a terrific group of folks. Any of you can join it. It's basically more of a grassroots kind of effort. So they can talk where we can't because of sunshine laws, et cetera. So my suggestion, by the way, with respect to Pam Beasley Pittman, anybody here, all of the commissioners have pre-agenda meetings, guys. It's usually a couple of days before the commission meeting. Get on the pre-agenda meetings. Talk it up. Explain what's going on. I'm on Ben's. I'm on John Herb's. I'm on Steve Glassman. I'll go on any of them. Get on the call. Start talking about it. Explain what's going on. I need to move on, and I thank you all for that, and hopefully we can. But we'll take the yellow mark. We'll send it up. We'll copy you as carefully as we can. With due respect to all of you, we're not going to drop the ball. I'll do the best I can, but thank you for that. I need to move on to two things, guys. We have a permit. Don't get up yet, because I'm not going to let you. We have a delightful couple that's been sitting here, but I'm going to keep them sitting for a little bit longer because I know they're having a wonderful time eating cake as well. There you go. Here you go. So, but I do need to get to our.
Second.
You could have seconds as well. So our 10 minutes with an industry expert is an item we started back some time ago. And in this case, we invited Catherine Kate O'Fallon from Marine Research Hub of South Florida. And I have the tagline, connecting the dots to build Florida's blue economy, be resilient and sustainable. I'm sorry, can you kick that off, Howard, or whoever's there? That would be, what did I have it under?
Gallagher, you're talking.
I can't see, hang on.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not it.
Watermelon?
Go back. Green Research Hub. Just Green Research before. Just kick off and we'll run through. Kate, Bob, will you introduce Kate?
So,
but I want to get up to one slide first.
I talked to our speaker, and I think having one informational presentation at one of our meetings is probably what we should do. And I haven't asked the chair yet, but Kate's willing to present at our next meeting if there's a slot available. She's invested 2 hours into our meeting to be here, and I don't want to kill the messenger in this. And I think what she's got to share is pretty important. So if you're okay with it, Mr. Chairman, can we put it to next month?
Motion to table.
So you're kicking me out, that's it, we're done now?
Well, no.
You
No,
tell us what
Bob,
you've learned.
I would be happy to come back next month so that you
Not a
guys
question.
can finish up your meeting and be a presenter next month,
So-
if that's okay.
So first of all, I will tell you that we overstayed our welcome with Kate. I told her we get to her early. Ted did an amazing job. We've taken up a little too much time, etc. If you promise you'll come back, we'll
I
let you go
promise I
early.
will come back. I love Ted's presentation. I just wanna honor your guys' time as well and be happy to give you guys, maybe, more information next time, if that's okay.
So, number one, we appreciate, it was a phenomenal presentation, by the way, you did. You still get the chocolates.
I feel like I should come back and get the chocolates.
No, we'll give you more.
You get them next time too.
We'll give you more next month.
Milk that for all it's worth.
Can I ask that you send us some information about what you do so we can do our own research, prepared to ask you?
Go to the website. Go to the website. Kate's got podcasts. You'll learn what's going on with the Research Hub, and
I've got some videos up there, some podcasts,
I
and,
did my MBA in marine biology at Rosenstein.
oh, excellent.
well, you're the reason we're doing it.
Well, I do appreciate that
Flipper was alive.
I can come back to the next meeting.
So,
Died.
Marine Research Hub, just for what it's worth, a lot of folks walked in and said, what is Marine Research Hub? So we're not doing a good job of getting the word out, so we gotta do better, because this is a group that's tying all the pieces together. So, if I can get back to that. Can I get to, I don't know where the slide is. So the reason this started is Bob Swindell's on the board as board of directors up there. If you could, Howard, the top one on the left. That one right there. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not. I wanted to acknowledge some of the folks because the names came up. So Bob Swindell, you see there. Excuse me, I can't see. Shit. Phil Purcell, you're familiar.
Good-looking guy.
Phil Purcell, a number of folks, Steve Hudson, you've met, who's on the board of FWC. There's an old guy down here, Bill Walker, who we've heard. Jimmy Harrison was on our board for years. A lot of these folks are familiar names, so we're gonna tie them all together. So get out of here, thank you very much.
Cool, thank you all, and I will see you at the next meeting, I promise. I will be here. Thank you. And that way you guys can all get out of here a little earlier too, hopefully.
So,
We don't do that here.
So, we have a dock permit. Before I get to that though, I do wanna talk about next month. You know,
Half a bottle of cake left.
we're not gonna do it. So, Mr. Mitchell isn't feeling well. Do we have a quorum if he leaves?
Yes.
Okay, we're fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Feel better, sir.
Sam, you did.
Yeah.
So one of the things, before I get to, this lovely couple over here, one of the things when we talk about Kate coming back next month, one of the things we're gonna do next month, and I've discussed it with our city manager and a few folks, is, particularly now since I have, that's my little granddaughter, by the way, under the picture of my little grandson, and that's a more reason why we're gonna do what we do. That's, I think, 4 days old. So I am celebrating Women on the Water. So, we're gonna have city manager, we have a, number of folks that are actively involved on the waterfront, and we're gonna have a great discussion about careers for women, what the disparity is, et cetera. And we're hoping to have a little kind of fireside chat. I think Paulie Day may come back. By the way, Paulie Day has been working with Barry and Lisa Scott Found on funding Winterfest. So there's a big benefactor behind us there. And that's why when we talk about money, there's tons of money out there, guys. We know how to tap into it. We just need to do it. We need to do it properly. So with that, I will introduce the one dock permit we have, which is 1101 Cordova Road. And if you introduce yourself and come up, we can.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, thanks for hanging in with us, guys. Anywhere you want.
Should I use the clicker or do you need to go?
Here you go. You can.
Yeah, we're gonna pull it up for you now.
Okay. Can you get his stuff on?
Number 5-8, top
Yeah.
looks like it's about to fall.
Is there?
This is what defines how big of the challenge is. That's what defines it.
You want the PowerPoint?
Looks like
Seems like an awfully big barge for that.
Like, not like back in the day when
Barge
John
was
Craig
awfully big for the little.
50 feet wide, 150 feet long. Yeah.
Okay, let us give this gentleman, would you introduce yourself and explain your, guys, let's give the gentleman attention.
Robert Gallagher, I'm here with my wife Rachel. We live at 1101 Cordova Road, and we're applying for our dock permit. You guys are the last, or the final prerequisite before Broward can issue our permit. We're using Morrison as our contractor. We believe we've done everything to be in compliance. This is our lot right here on the corner of Cordova and 11th. This is where the dock would be. There is a bridge on 11th. We have honored the setback and then some. The dock will start 35 feet from the bridge. The dock will be 40 feet in length. It'll jet out 8 feet.
How long is the whole piece of property?
The whole piece of property from the street to our property line here, that's 60 feet.
And you're gonna start 35 feet in.
35 feet in, there's 5 feet in from this bridge. The corner comes off here. So 35 feet in from where the bridge is and 30 feet from the 5-foot setback that's required from the, you'll see it here. So this is the, when looking north, this is us standing on the property line from the south line, facing north. You'll see the 11th Street Bridge here. This is facing south. This would be us on the bridge. We'd start about 35 feet from where I'm standing now, and I'll have some measurements coming here. So, here's our 5-foot setback from the bridge. Here's 30 feet. This is Cordova.
30 feet, you said the dock's 35, so that's 65. Right, 35 and 30, you said the whole property was 60.
It could be 65 actually. And I could actually have that probably measured here. Let's see.
35 and 30 is greater than 60.
65 feet. Okay, 65 feet.
And then it goes right up to the other property line?
I have a 5-foot setback from the property line.
So then it's gotta be 70.
Whatever that middle number is.
It's 75 from the setbacks, the 5-foot setbacks.
Right.
Okay, then the math works.
Right. 75 from the setbacks, yes. Would you like me to keep this up or?
While you've got that on, and Andrew, please take note of this. With respect to the dock area goes out into the water. It's not just this part. It's part of your riparian rights to use the water. That I would invert that and show that the dimensions of the dock area go from the 5-foot setback down to the 5-foot setback. Then with the public swale area, the way the ordinance is written, you are not the riparian owner. We, the city, are the riparian owners, and we hold it in trust for all the public.
Yeah.
So we've set this up in such a way that not only does the public get to use this, but they also get to use that strip of waterway. So you need to extend some arrows going down that way to finish off that exhibit.
Okay. Not a problem. Obviously, no invasive construction to the seawall.
That's just visiting the barge.
Right. That's just visiting the barge, yeah.
Nothing changed with the dimensions, just change that exhibit a little bit.
Okay, so just as some notes here, arrow showing that this is public area.
Yes.
All right, not a problem. Measurements, that's the end of our slideshow. Does anyone have any specific questions? Once again, 40 feet, goes out 8 feet, honoring the bridge setback and the 5-foot setback required on the southern end from the other neighboring property.
Can you tell me what's south of you, because there's a big barge there in this picture, which is, would mean you could never get into your spot.
So it's another dock.
You have a picture of that?
Yes. To the southern exposure. Here's this floating dock here.
Okay.
Dock.
Are you putting a fixed dock or a floating dock?
A fixed dock. And how far you'll be away from his dock? 5 feet.
Well, 10 feet, cause he's 5 feet
Exactly.
setback on the other side as well. 5 and 5 is.
So, guys, we're, just give me a second. I don't know if anybody went and visited the site. I stress again, we should not be voting on a waiver or permit that you don't go physically look at. If you go there, I say with due respect to the applicant, they did an excellent job with the presentation. If there's an issue, a couple feet, et cetera, this is not what they do full time. It's a straightforward doc, everything about it. They've listened closely to Andrew, they listened closely to Bob. I don't have an issue with it. What I have an issue with has nothing to do with them. Back up to a slide if you would for a second. So I mentioned this before, one more, go back a bit. I want to show the, I want to show this slide here. So I don't have an issue with this. I went over and looked at it again. It's very straightforward. We're very respectful. The applicant's respectful of the bridge. We know that's an issue. We also know that you can't pierce the wall as the Cordova stuff, et cetera. The problem I have really has to do with more the city. This area here traps a lot of vegetation, garbage, et cetera. I don't know if that's going to be exacerbated by this. This is not a problem with the applicant, but it's something I'd like to know how we continue maintaining. Mr. Duncan.
I closed my file on it, but there should be an Exhibit B with a landscape plan on it. That's part of all of the dock permits that we do on Cordova and the other areas.
So, but with respect to maintaining it, we've talked about
that's their responsibility.
Not the waterway.
No, oh, I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about that water.
This little cut that comes
That's
in,
correct.
right,
It
where
traps a lot of
comes in
stuff
there, just sticks right
and
there.
it's stagnant, et cetera. And again, with.
You guys have a smell problem there?
No?
I don't think it's bad, but I'm concerned it gets worse. It's not something they have to address. I think we need to be cognizant of it, that's all.
Comes a problem for them.
Anyways, very straightforward. Anybody have any other questions, et cetera, of the applicant?
How wide across is it? 8 feet, no, all the way to the
Canal.
other side.
90.
Oh, across the street. I have to pull up the measure.
I think it's 95 plus or minus.
95, so you're looking to come, how far off?
8 feet.
8 feet?
8 feet.
And how big of a boat are you looking to build?
It'll be
That's not
28, 29-foot cobia.
Yeah, it's not too
So
big.
it's a 10-foot beam.
Right.
Okay. That fits.
Gentlemen, can I get a motion from
Motion
anyone?
to approve the permit.
We have a motion. I have a second from Mr. Franks. Let's have a roll call, please.
John, as in John.
Bob as in Franks.
J-O-N, J-O-H-N.
No, never J-O-N.
You want a roll call vote?
Mr. Robotsky?
Yes. For approval.
It's for approval.
It is
yes,
for
I'm sorry.
Mr. Baykoff?
Yes.
Mrs. Ware?
Yes.
Mr. Lombard? Mr. Franks?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell has left. Mr. Brunel?
Yes.
Mr. Coburn?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Swindell?
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan? Mrs. Fernandez? Yes. Chair Whitten?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Gallagher's. Best of luck to you. Thank you for doing an excellent presentation, and we appreciate it. Thank you for hanging around. I have one more quick thing. I do want to acknowledge somebody here that is kind of behind the scenes, and he's looking at me right now. The guy poured all those nasty drinks and cut the cake and everything else. Our dear friend Louis Villanueva, Chris Stacy at Tortuga Fest gave me a bottle of rum and said, give it to one of your favorite guys, and I'm giving it to one of our favorite guys.
You're gonna pass out the wrist bracelets?
You and I went to the same church, that's the problem. So, anything else, guys? We have scuttlebutt, et cetera. I think we've covered everything. Everything? Is there anybody else has anything to bring up? Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, you did want to bring up something, I apologize.
Can you put the site plan on 401 on the screen?
It's,
Back to this one.
It matters. It's a postscript.
So I'm gonna tell you, as Bob is bringing this up, and I know I'm not supposed to talk like this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. What we're talking about is the waiver on Idlewild that the applicant has pulled. They pulled it as they want to reconsider what they're gonna do, et cetera. The applicant was Ms. Nancy Daly.
A little bit farther down.
I'm not sure if anybody knows, but this.
No, I'm sorry, I want to see the top of it.
But Ms. Daly worked with a guy named Jimmy Carter on Habitat for Humanity. This woman is absolutely the salt of the earth and is a very, very special part of this community. I'm going to say it, I'm going to leave it at that. She was treated grossly unfairly here. Mr. Dunkel.
Yeah, when y'all last saw this, the idea was that there was gonna be a vessel berthed on the south side of that, 34-foot section up here. It's gonna have a 12-foot beam. Well, that 12-foot beam would encroach into this 25-foot, setback. I presented my arguments to FDEP, just real quickly. It reads, except as provided herein, all structures including mooring pilings, breakwaters, jetties, groins, and activities must be set back a minimum of 25 feet inside the applicant's riparian rights line. I look at the word activities and all the other words in there and I go, activities is not some kind of a permanent structure or something like that. They don't travel with that theory. So what Tyler was raising was accurate. So we morphed from that into putting this 34-footer on the extreme east side. And a request was made to be able to intermittently dock a vessel on that southernmost 34-foot section, intermittently, no more than 2 hours in a 24-hour period. So we went, and by the way, let me read to you the definition of activity. Activity means any use of sovereign lands which requires board approval for a letter of consent, lease, easement, sale, transfer of interest in sovereign lands or materials. We're not involved in any of that. Activity includes, but is not limited to, the construction of docks, piers, boat ramps, boardwalks, mooring pilings, dredging of channels, filling, removal of logs, sand, silt, clay, gravel, or shell, or removal of planting or vegetation. Nothing about the berthing of a vessel. So I went back to him and I said, can we do this? He said, well, if you're submitting an application for FDEP approval, we'll reject it because of that. And I said, well, we've already submitted an application. You've approved it. Now we're in front of the City of Fort Lauderdale Marine Advisory Board and City Commission on a waiver to allow a vessel to be berthed there no more than 2 hours, 24-hour period, so on and so forth. He said, well, if the neighbor to the south complained to us about it, it's probably too minuscule a thing for us to get involved in. But the problem arises that we'll end up adopting a resolution, which will be recorded in the public records. And the conditions that we would put in that resolution would open this property owner to constant stream of complaints. Oh, they were there for 2.5 hours, so on and so forth. And after you get a couple of those, it gets into repeat violations. So I had some long discussions with Ms. Daly, and at the end of the discussion, she decided that the possibility of this ongoing involvement for years or months or whatever is probably not worth pursuing this dock construction. So she will be coming back at some point in time with a finger pier that will go out that will be able to accommodate the other vessel. Obviously, the finger pier is going to be as far north to the north as possible. Dock experts will be handling that. I just wanted to give you that as the part of the institutional knowledge of this because it will be coming back to you.
Can I ask you a quick question, Bob?
Yes.
If this went out, this part right here.
Yes.
To here. It's got plenty of room to go out quite a bit. And they park their boat on the inside of it.
Well, here's part of the other problem. To make any changes in this configuration, they got to go back through Army Corps, FDEP, and then Broward County.
There's plenty of docks that stick out this far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if they came out, 50 feet, 70, they could park their boat on the inside, solve the problem.
The whole issue is they didn't want to have to go and redo everything.
Yeah.
But they're effectively.
And we were telling them, like, you kind of have to go and redo everything.
Right. Their original plans were too close to the line.
Right.
There was a couple things, so they had to redo it.
Yeah.
In some capacity, but that's seems to stop this guy from closing his marina that he built.
The single finger pier makes a lot of sense, and she could actually put a 25-foot finger pier in right now without a waiver.
Well, she can go more than 25 feet, right?
No. If you go more than 25, you need a waiver. If you build a finger pier out 25 from the property line, then you don't need a waiver. So make it 24 feet.
But this is 34.
Yeah, but, right.
That's why you need a waiver.
You need a waiver.
A waiver will grant you up to 30%.
We're talking about measuring it from having it go straight out that way,
Right.
something like that.
And she could put a 30-foot sailboat on there with no problem with the bow out. So hoping that she's gonna move forward, and again, she'll get support from us. We wanna be fair to everybody,
Legal
but
fees, they could have redone this.
that's right. Anybody else? Mr. Franks?
Yeah, so I'll make this quick here. The last meeting we had here, I asked anybody contact somebody from FP&L to come to this board and say, hey, we need to be able to get this barge up the river every couple of years to supply these transformers up to the Davie, the City of Dania power plant. This barge is 150 feet long. I've got one photo where it shows it up at, this is at Rowley Marine. So it goes up the river to Rowley Marine. All right, basically, Cape Ann Towing takes it on the south part of the river, takes it all the way up there. Basically, you have a barge here that's 150 feet long, 50 feet wide. When it goes up the river, you've got a 30-foot barge on one end, a 30-foot barge on the other end. So you have something that's 210 feet long. You also have something that's 50 feet wide. Bridges are roughly 59, 60 feet wide. So this is about as big a thing as you're going to get up the river. About a year and a half ago, Bradford Marine had a barge up there this size that they use. So basically, you're going to have a footprint in that river or a canal or navigation fairway that will allow us at least something like this periodically to go up the river. So the point here is for infrastructure, for seawalls, for the power plant, and some of the big boats to go up the river, this defines what the minimum width of the navigation fairway is.
You wanna tell them what they're carrying, by the way?
I'm sorry?
Would you tell them what's on the boat? Yeah. It's not a question of if. That boat has to go up.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That's a
Every couple
major
years.
transformer.
Yeah, this is the
How does the
transformer.
transformer get on the barge?
Well-
Put on upstream?
No, this
truck it
Yeah,
somewhere?
can't you just put it on a truck?
No, the transformer is so heavy, it can't go on trucks, it can't go on bridges.
So how's it
It's gotta be barged up here.
How does it get to the boat? Sorry.
It gets put on a barge up
How
in
does it get,
Jacksonville.
where is it produced? I guess it's shipped here on the
Probably in Jacksonville.
So it actually comes on a big boat?
It comes on a big barge.
Yeah, they're talking about
big barge here.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm saying.
When is the last time, did you reach anyone from FPL?
Well, I talked to the Yale brothers, they're the ones that actually, do this part of the transport. And, Courtney, Courtney gets a call 6 months ahead of time, puts out a local notice to mariners and lets people know on the river, hey, when it's gonna be making that transit. But the point is to keep that power plant going, you've got to have a barge that can take it up there. If we start putting all these boats on the river,
Can't do it.
guess what? The power plant's not gonna run. Guess what? You're not gonna be able to fix all these seawalls. Guess what? You wanna do construction on a bridge up the New River, you can't get a barge up there. Right now, Bradford Marine now is just keeping their own barge up there because they know they can't get it up their river now. So the point is, the encroachment on the river, let me just go back to one point. This whole thing about the river started several years ago with a concern about Little Florida. The homeowner wanted to put a observation deck 25 feet out on the point. That would have disrupted everything on the river. A lot of people saw it and say, something, one guy here can totally foul up the whole economy of the river. But there was a lot of good conversations with the owner. But the thing that ended up resulting is when you look at the property line on Little Florida, on the north side, the property line is 20 feet inside the seawall. So that's really one of the predominant things that stopped that from getting, put out there. So the point is, I've been working for several years now on defining the river. Andrew, the city, a lot of folks have been looking at what are the diagrams, where are the property lines, where are the contours, what's 20%, what's 25%, what's 30%. All right, but we need to have somebody from FP&L come here, categorically state to keep that power plant running, we need to have a barge of this dimension to go up the river. That defines the width of the navigation section of the river. Now, we can get into more details about curvy parts of how wide you need it. That's a detail, but we have to actually start from somewhere. What's the minimum width we need? So last month, somebody said, well, look on the YouTube, not YouTube, but look on the web for FP&L. Well, if you look on the web for FP&L, you get a phone number. The phone number goes to some computer that talks to you. I can never get to the guy that runs that plant. I have no idea how to reach that person.
Okay, so.
Anybody, they can have somebody from FP&L come here and say, yeah, we need to have this. This is what we need.
So we can use, so somebody in person will be good. We'll track them down. I promise we'll track them down. So we can use them in person. A letter would be great to suffice, so we could send to the commissioner. Does anybody would take the responsibility of tracking down the head of FPL, or I'll do it? Would you do that?
Pam Roush is the VP, she'll know how to navigate.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
If you can, so Courtney runs the barge, runs the tugs. He has the contract to run the tugs.
There you go.
He doesn't know exactly when. It's like every 5 or 6 years. But the point being is that is the elephant in the room, and if we can share that with the commission, that is what absolutely makes sure that we can't shorten I'm not thinking right. Coast Guard's supposed to come next month. FWC is supposed to come. Coast Guard is supposed to talk about helping us to make sure we maintain the width of the New River, et cetera. Guys, I'm tired. Anybody else?
Motion to close?
Motion to close. Anybody else?
Second.
Thank you very much. Wonderful meeting. Thank you, Bob.
I love your motions.
Someone's gotta send it. We're not a serious board, so.
And I have fond memories of your dad.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll probably get tapped for
Oh, he's not
knowledge in the future.
I'm sure we do.
He's gonna get bored. Give him 6 months.
They're doing the same thing.
Last time tonight.
As I said, golf is great.
Have a good one. See you next month.
Yeah,